Are you going, Roy? I thought you were gonna start it off.
No, I was just looking. I was just
Fuck!
looking.
God damn it, Roy!
Hey, welcome to the fucking show. Dude, does your
Yeah.
shirt say hammer?
Oh my god, that'd be cool if it did. That'd be cool if it did. It
I'm
does
gonna get
not.
one that says Jefferson.
It
You're gonna
says
get one that
have.
says hammer.
It says HFMMLR. So have fun making money over the long
Long.
run.
Oh, I thought that was like I don't know. That's cool.
It's dumb. It's my old sales T-shirt from Securelink.
Yo,
Aaron Walters has one.
welcome to the
Welcome to the
show.
show. Welcome to the show. It's raining coins, Roy.
My dramatic entrance.
Okay, Sinead O'Connor. Welcome
just
everyone.
just you wait.
Where's the Pope? Give me Adam.
Yeah.
Welcome everyone to Loser Leaves Wrestling. This is Ding 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 Entertainment presents Turnbuckle Time.
It's really funny that, well, whatever. I'm not going to make that comment
You
on
say it
air.
every single week, and I forget every single week.
No, I was going to say, well, don't worry about it. It's great. We're doing
Say it.
great.
Say it.
Since we got that LLC, we've really we're doing
Stop
a
doing
lot.
things.
Yeah.
We're just all so tired.
Yeah, they're tired.
Well,
It's a long
you
term.
know he's not allowed to come on my dick.
That's what
Cool.
happened. As soon as we got we became CEOs, and then we just stopped working.
That's how they
Honestly,
do it. That's how
it's honestly
CEOs
an
do it.
American dream. We haven't worked a
Yeah.
single day since we became a CEO. Thank you all so much for
That's how
joining
it
us.
goes.
This is WrestleMania weekend.
This is WrestleMania fucking weekend.
Jump in the chat, ask some questions. I was there yesterday. I'll be there today. I'd be happy to talk about it.
Well,
But
we're going to
Roy,
talk about it.
are you leading off the show today? Because I was completely unprepared.
Yeah, Brad, let's do it. So,
Because I was at Mania.
yeah, sure, exactly. So I think, look, it's WrestleMania weekend. You had a long night. We don't have to have a crazy marathon show today. We just got to talk about some stuff. I was gonna say I don't want to graze over anything.
A blade of grass over. What?
I don't want a blade of grass over anything, although we're going to blade of grass over probably a few things. But we got to talk about really what's on everybody's mind after night one of WrestleMania, after an excellent WrestleMania show. We got to talk about the number one thing that's on everyone's minds: CM Punk.
CM Punk, let's go.
Jazz, that's your cue. Hit that first slide. So, Red, I feel like you're even more in tune on this than I am. So, talk to me about what you know about recent developments in the CM Punk situation.
Well, I know that Brooklyn Bleak's in the chat. He says sup.
Sup?
Let's go, Brooklyn Bleak.
Brooklyn Bleak. Drop in the chat what you watched this weekend.
Yes, there's a lot of stuff. CM Punk has taken over WrestleMania weekend with rumors and speculation about what he's going to do and all the things he's saying. And I think it's official. CM Punk's the good guy. Unfortunately, he's the good guy. John Moxley is an idiot.
I don't think John Moxley's a bad guy.
I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's literally. Did you listen to his
no, see that I haven't
on
heard.
his wife's podcast?
I'm trying not to listen to a lot of stuff. I'll read whatever happens, but I'm trying not to listen to a lot of stuff because I don't want to get mad at anybody except for the Stooge. Stooge.
No, you don't get mad at John Moxley. You're just like, what a fucking idiot. Like,
wasn't he like, there's just a bunch of bullshit here. Everybody's
just like
babies.
He's like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just like, I got back from rehab, and they're saying you gotta start the thing. And this is the last thing I want to do. And he's just talking, and he just sounds like an idiot.
What's the last thing he wants to do?
Anything. That's what he keeps saying. He keeps saying that, like, oh, I didn't have. So basically, John Moxley's biggest argument is like, I didn't have a contract. And I could have gone to SummerSlam weekend with the belt if I wanted to. I was just like, yeah, then you just be a bad fucking guy.
Yeah, then you'd be a bad dude. You'd be no better than all of the people that everyone complains about.
If that's your biggest excuse, like, I didn't even need to be there. You're making millions of dollars.
Yeah, right.
And they're giving you the title, and him saying him justifying why he didn't want to lose to CM Punk. Essentially, is that I didn't need to be there. He didn't want to lose to CM Punk. and his justification is that he didn't need to be there, and he wanted to make it good for him too.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna try to pull up that what he said, because that sounds real stupid, but I'm curious.
But he didn't directly respond to it, so that he was
Yeah.
just laying out his story. CM Punk said that he didn't want to lose, and he was basically saying, "I didn't need to be there," and here's this guy. He just it's just stupid. It's just stupid. And then he also makes the claim that there's more drama in the AEW locker room than any place that he's ever been in his entire life, including WWE developmental,
Yeah.
and the Indies. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at so he said, okay, it's funny because whatever article I pulled up, it starts with it's a very Moxley response to the situation, which lines up with what you're saying. Yeah. He said it's fucking annoying. Just because somebody said some stupid shit on social media, that's not news, but it is and became a thing. I don't want to get dragged into this dumb shit. I could fucking unload on a lot of fucking people right now. When I start getting dragged into this shit, it tempts me to do that, but I'm not going to fucking sink to that level. I will say this. I'm going to give you a tidbit of information from my point of view.
For 30 minutes on
the entire summer, I was not under contract. No contract. Free agent. I was at SummerSlam weekend wrestling El Desperado and shit. I could have walked into SummerSlam that night with the AEW belt had I been so inclined.
Also intersperse a few farts and burps in there.
Nobody knew that because I don't put my shit out there in the world to let everybody know everything about my business. I was not under contract. The reason being, if you're curious, is I got out of rehab. My contract was coming up. They extended it for the time that I missed. Cool. I'm glad they did because I didn't want to feel like I owed them anything. They extended it. It was coming up. They were talking to me about it. The last thing I wanted to do when I first got out of rehab, because all they were telling me was logic would tell you don't go back to wrestling because you're going to fall into some old habits. I wanted to ease back into it and see what life was like on the other side. The last thing I want to do was hurry up and sign a big long-term contract. What if shit started going off the rails?
So basically, he's just talking about how he didn't want to sign a long contract. He never addressed the fact that he didn't want to lose the Punk. He kind of just dances around it, basically saying, "I didn't need to be there. So why is he getting mad at me?"
Yeah, there's this weird thing where he says, like, during this time period, the night what's his dick is talking about
that. Honestly,
Punk,
that's the best thing that
what's his
John.
dick.
I'm gonna start calling CM Punk what's his dick.
That's funny, yeah. The night he came back and was hopping around on one foot, bumping around after me and Jericho wrestled. By
the way, he also said when he said that, like, me and Jericho had a match. He's like, pretty badass match, by the way.
Yeah, it was a good match. They had a good match.
Every time he mentions any one of his matches in this interview, he's just like, which is fucking badass, by the way. He's just like, there's this one thing. He's like, I was fucking facing Desperado, and I threw him on a bunch of like halved aluminum cans, tore them all up. It's pretty fucking badass. Idiot.
I basically okay. So we're jumping on one foot, bumping around after me and Jericho wrestled. We're talking later about stuff. Keep in mind at this time, this is my whole point. I basically don't work there. For all intents and purposes, Tony is not my boss. I don't have to be in this room. I don't have to do this shit. Even me being in this room and offering and agreeing to a storyline that puts you over at the pay-per-view. If anything, I'm bending over backwards for Tony and for this dude and the company and everybody. I didn't have to. I didn't have to do shit. If anything, I was bending over backwards. That's it. It's not even controversial.
I'm not going to have a match with you where you win unless I beat you in 2 minutes first.
He keeps talking, but we could stop there.
He's bless his dumb heart. Bless his big dumb heart.
Does any of this, like, okay, so the big news realistically, right, is that according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter and Dave Meltzer, who screwed all of us up in the first place, they had an agreement in place. They had an agreement in place for Punk to come back. Now, do you think Moxley talking about all of this and all of this stupid shit that's happening, do you think any of this actually has any like blowback and affects the CM Punk situation?
Yeah. I think this all is really dumb. I feel like the more people,
it's all especially stupid.
I think that the biggest takeaway, if I were Tony Khan and I was listening to the Jon Moxley interview, I would take the there's never been more drama in a backstage environment than in this one right now. Like he says that later in the interview. He's just like, one last thing. There's never. I've been on the Indies. I've been WWE developmental. There's more drama going on right now than any other time I've ever had. He's like, if it was just last year and I was just fucking with Regal and Danielson and we were just fucking with my best friends, I was just tearing it off. And then Regal's just like, yeah, best friends. yeah.
It just seems like this is, but that's everybody just wants to work with their friends, and that's it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing.
No, it's not a weird thing. I get it. You want to do what's easy. Every single company that has a bad politics in it has the same thing. The WCW people just wanted to work with their friends. Yeah. Whenever they're able to abuse an owner to get whatever they want, they do that. This is what they do. Hulk Hogan and TNA, where he's just bringing in his friends, and so it's just AEW is literally becoming that. Because Tony Khan is allowing it to, but it's not just one camp. That's the thing, because he has so much money. Right. There's several camps that are doing their own individual, I'm going to ruin this my way. There's a Moxley camp. There's a Jericho camp. There's a Bucks camp. It's literally everyone has a direct line to the boss, and they're tugging it.
Yeah, it's and it maybe, I don't know, like it wasn't like this the first 2 years of the company. I think it's because everybody was just one group of friends, and then eventually people started splintering off the bigger the company got, and now suddenly here we are.
Yeah,
I
think the pandemic hit AEW the worst. No, I'm joking. That was a joke. That was a bad joke. Brooklyn Bleak is in the chat.
Yeah, what's Brooklyn Bleak saying?
I watched the Ring of Honor and Impact pay-per-views.
Nice.
Ring of Honor pay-per-view was pretty good.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
it. Impact pay-per-view. Did you watch that, Roy?
I didn't. I didn't want to pay for it. It wasn't part of Impact Plus, so I didn't want to pay for it.
It wasn't a part of Impact Plus?
No, because it was a special. It wasn't. It was an Impact New Japan crossover show.
Oh, okay. Impact and Ring of Honor TV programming, and I was watching Bloodsport 9, but passed out. Where's Bloodsport 9 available?
That's on Fight. Okay. If you have my Fight login, you can watch it.
Is it good?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I'd be curious to know what you think of it.
But definitely going to finish it. Funny how WWE Underground ripped off its concept. Yes, that is funny.
Yeah, but did it very poorly.
I would love a good. I'll try Bloodsport 9. Do they have a ring?
Yeah, they have a ring. There's just no ropes.
Is there posts?
Yeah, because the posts have to keep the ring up.
The posts don't need to keep the ring. The posts could be shorter. The posts are only up high because of the ropes. Are they up high?
Yeah, I mean, they just took the ropes off.
Cheap production.
Yeah, sure, of course. It's GCW.
Oh, is it GCW?
It's a GCW sponsored event. Yeah, all nine Bloodsports are GCW sponsored. But I mean, they're not Brett.
But they're not produced by Brett.
No, it's completely produced by Josh Barnett.
Yeah, he just has pictures of Stephanie McMahon in his bedroom, and he's just like, "I want to book like you." He loves her.
He loves her. He loves her so much.
He loves her more than anyone.
Anything to say about CM Punk before we move on then?
This is what Jon Moxley's brain sounds like.
I'm tired.
Because it's not working great. I just think CM Punk, I hope this didn't fuck everything up. Dave Meltzer, did you hear Dave Meltzer's apology?
Yes.
Or did we talk? We talked about it.
Yes.
And when he's just like, he's like, I really feel bad. I really feel bad that I even said things about it.
Hey, come on.
Don't make
fun of his stutter.
Oh, it's not. No, that's part of his dance. He just like dances around. He doesn't even say sorry. He's just like, and I feel really bad. Really bad that this happened.
He doesn't have to apologize to me. He doesn't have to apologize to you. He's got to call Punk and apologize to Punk.
He's got to call Tony Khan. Tony Khan. But honestly, it's all Tony Khan's fault. So I think we could all.
I don't know. I'm trying not to think.
Like everything, even the Jericho stuff, all of it is centered around that Tony Khan literally lets his friends do whatever he wants. And he thinks that he's friends with Matt Jackson. He thinks that he's friends with Chris Jericho. He thinks that he's friends with Jon Moxley. But as soon as they're gone, they're just like, That dude doesn't fucking own me. My name's John Moxley. He doesn't own my life.
Yeah, I think he's becoming based on that. I don't know. We don't know if any of this is true. Let's be real here. We don't know any of this is true. But if it is, he's really just kind of becoming Bischoff, which is funny because Bischoff hates him so much and they hate each other. But like Bischoff did the same thing. He's like, "Yeah, Kevin Nash is my friend," and Kevin Nash is like, "Yeah, I'm your friend because you pay me." Yeah.
He probably still thinks they're friends.
Yeah. It's like, yeah,
I talked to Big
buddies,
Kev the other
right.
day. Yeah, Easy. He gave me a call.
Yeah. Yeah, he called me.
He definitely called.
We'll just see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm excited for this week. I think this Wednesday is going to be a really fun show.
What's your predictions for this Wednesday? Do you have any fun predictions?
I think FTR is going to win. I think FTR has signed a long-term contract. I think that's absolutely happened. I think Tony Khan is going to, he's got a big announcement.
What's this big announcement?
I think it's one of, I've given up on the idea of him announcing a streaming service. I don't think it's ever going to happen. I mean, I think it will happen, but I don't, whatever.
We should give up on the hopes of what a good surprise would be and go to the third or fourth possible choice.
Well, I think it's going to be one of two things. One, it's just going to be an announcement of a third show. Like a 3rd hour.
We already know.
We don't know. It's not official. It's just been talked about. It's not official.
But didn't he hear how the last one farted up? Like the announcement of the Access show.
No, yeah, sure. Yeah, but we also kind of
nobody cares.
The only other thing that I could think of is that he's going to announce, and again, this is something that has been rumored, but he can confirm it. He's going to announce that they're moving All Out to the United Airlines Arena. And that's all he'll announce. But you know what that means? If they make that announcement, that means that CM Punk's coming back. That's what that announcement means.
Or he just wants the Bucks to get booed out of the building for no reason.
So yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what that is. We'll see what the big old announcement is.
Who's gonna give it? Do you think it's gonna be Tony or he's gonna?
Of course, Tony's gonna be backstage. Off the last one. He didn't hand off the international title one, which was very unfortunate. I wish he had handed that one off.
But he handed off the All Access one to
Adam Cole. Right.
And Adam, you were gonna have can we briefly talk about that show?
About All Access? Yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked it. Were you surprised though that I would like it? Of course, I liked it.
No, you're an AEW apologist for life, and I understand it.
For sure.
You have the tattoo across your stomach.
No, I don't.
AEW for life. I saw it. AEW apologist for life. No, I think it just says apologist for life.
It just says apologist for life. Yeah. I'm just an apologist.
But the All Access is just, man, I do not need this. Like, well, it's almost like watching a WWE documentary on the sale of WCW or like a WWE,
except they're talking about themselves,
or WWE documentary about like how revolutionary Raw was. Like it's just I don't
absolutely
to watch that.
Yeah. 100%. They're trying to fucking,
and I wanted to watch it because like I was curious. I'd like to see, but just like, man, I already know too much, and the stuff they give me is more kayfabe than not. Like the stuff they give. Like, what did they give?
You didn't finish it. You didn't finish it though. You watched 10 minutes and turned it off.
But I've seen a lot of TikToks. Tell me, Roy. Look,
kayfabe
what
or
did
not?
You glean? What did you glean? Tell me some new information. Like, let's just put Adam Cole in there. Adam Cole.
Yeah, I like the Adam Cole stuff. It was
okay.
Nice.
Let me just say right now what I know before watching it. Adam Cole and Britt Baker like each other. They love each other. As a matter of fact, they also Adam Cole was sad. Adam Cole was scared, and Britt Baker was scared, and then he made his return. And that's the end, right? Is there any new information that you?
Why do I need? I don't need new information. Why do I need it? I just like the process.
And what's the point of just watching him like pace back and forth? It's just like, I don't know if I can make this promo, babe. And she's just like, you can do it, babe.
He didn't do a promo.
Whatever in-ring. I don't know if I could come back to the ring. And she's just like, I think you come back to the ring.
Like, it's no more egregious than any other reality show that's ever existed.
Yeah, I don't like pointless reality shows that are just trying to. It's kind of like having like, the Real Housewives of the Army, and where they're all saying things like, oh, my husband does a great job, fights for America. We love that. Like all these things, like getting bombed third world countries because they don't love America. Like it's just propaganda. And yeah.
That's the point of all reality shows.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Tell me that's the point of tell me that's the point of this real life. There is no point.
That's the point of this real life is exploitation.
I couldn't tell you what Flavor Flav was going to say to Brigitte Nielsen. I could not tell you that they were going to start fucking. I could not.
Yeah, but look, that ended up being a happy ending, sort of. Not really, but they were on that show to be embarrassed. I mean, everybody was put on this real life to be embarrassed, as determined by the A&E biography of China when they talk about her on this real life.
That's actually a really good point, is that they have the happy endings on that show, whereas AEW has these happy endings of just like, oh, and then another week of programming was made. Hooray.
People like the backstage stuff, and so do I. I mean, I wish they would follow other people that we don't hear a lot about.
Yeah, I would love to see them follow I don't know, John Silver be frustrated that he's not on TV.
Right.
Like that's what I want to see.
Well, I think
they're
they need
only
to follow,
showing the people they want. They want to get their WWE, their AEW story over. Brooklyn Bleak says no posts, but the matchups were great. I left off at the start of Speedball versus Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, it's a good one. You should watch that.
I think of Josh Barnett's Bloodsport like a Pancrase shoot fight. Pancrase?
Yeah, Pancrase is a Japanese shoot fighting company from the 90s that was predetermined, but they would beat the shit out of each other. Similar to Bloodsport. That's like where it comes from.
I hope they're
You'd like Pancrase. That's where Minoru Suzuki came from. Was like that world.
Oh, I don't like Minoru Suzuki.
What? Since when do you not like Minoru Suzuki?
Minoru Suzuki. Oh, I'm mixing up. Minoru Suzuki's fine.
Hey, can you stall?
Oklahoma with the ring goes. I don't know the rest of that song. I just feel like AEW All Access is unfortunate. I don't want any. Oh, we got S here. S just came into the comments right when Rory leaves. Hey, dudes, I gotta go get a haircut, but I will watch and leave comments later. Hope that things are going well. Toodles for now. Toodles to you. Also, ask me any questions about AMA. Ask me anything about WrestleMania. Went to WrestleMania yesterday. I'm going today. Great show. We're going to talk about it soon. S, blessings. Bless you. Thank you so much for joining the chat. What is Roy doing? Is he blowing his nose? Yeah, he's blowing his nose.
Yeah. I'm getting over a cold. I had to blow my nose.
Do you remember that bit? That our first ever anything on TV bit where you need to blow your nose?
Yeah.
It's a good bit. S is in the chat.
S is here.
Well, S is already leaving because he's getting a haircut.
Oh, hey, it's gonna look great, S.
Oh, I'm sure. Can you send a pic?
Send a pic.
Send a pic to the hotline.
Send the hotline.
574-722. Join the hotline. I actually hate the hotline because it ruins my phone. As writes, P.S. I heard that WrestleMania Night 1 had less than 2 hours of actual wrestling for the 4-hour show. AEW for life. What are you talking about?
Well, AEW for life, yes, but we'll talk about that because I don't know if that's true. True.
Honestly, it was a perfect show. If
whoa.
It was a. I'm not saying it's. I'm not saying it's the best show.
We're both losing it. It's allergy season.
I'm not saying it's the best show, but I'm definitely saying like it was like a perfectly constructed show. Whereas like they placed everything great. Nothing felt like it was upsetting to have afterward. There were of course there was lulls, but you need lulls in a show so that you have something to rise up to. You can't have everything be the best thing ever all the time because it sucks all the air out for the main event.
We'll talk about it. I thought it was a very good show. Woodsy.
Total Divas is better than AEW All Access. You damn right it is. Because I got to see Bryan Danielson and John Cena chop wood. What did this have?
It's literally one episode. Let's all relax. Let's all relax.
What fun scene? And tell me one fun thing I should watch.
I really enjoyed Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole interacting with each other.
Oh, what, they're farting around each
Where's
other?
Turbs?
Licking each other's
Where's Turby? Where's Turby?
Yeah, you don't have your backup today, friend. S just
What?
went to get a haircut. I got Woodsy and Bleak here. We don't want it. And but we have more things to talk about.
Let's keep going. Hit that next slide. Let's just talk about WrestleMania weekend. A lot happened.
Yeah.
Red, what did you get a chance to see? Actually, you know what? I know what you got a chance to see. So I'm going to talk first, and then we'll talk about Ring of Honor.
Love it.
I watched the Hall of Fame ceremony last night.
Yeah.
The true MVP of the weekend is Conan. What the Conan introducing Rey Mysterio was out of this world good. It was excellent.
Was it? Was it?
You gotta watch it. It was yeah, it was so hyped. It was great. He was so funny.
Great
it was
hype
great.
man.
Yeah, it was great. It was excellent.
There's a reason he was walking out first with the NWO.
Yeah, that's true. And Flair also did a good job with the Great Muta. I really appreciated Flair. Flair just like did his thing. He was like, he threw it like a little bit of a dig at Hunter, which I appreciated.
What did he say?
He was like, I'm just gonna talk. And then he's like, well, I'm not gonna talk too long. Hunter's gonna come down here and wrap me up. He's gonna wrap me up. That's really wrapping me up. And then like a couple of minutes later, he keeps talking. He's like, he said, Shawn Michaels, he didn't create the moonsault. Don't tell him I said that. Don't tell him I said he's gonna come down here. He's gonna wrap me up too. Shawn's gonna come out here. He's gonna wrap me up.
Damn it. Someone gave him one joke backstage and he just milked it for days.
Well, he told some like fun little quick anecdotes about Japan. Like he was very fun. And then he like kind of cried at the end, which was nice because I guess Reed had gone to Japan for a while under Muta's tutelage, and Muta took care of him.
Wow.
And that was always like a thing that really meant a lot to Ric Flair. Yeah, but Flair was good. You know who else was actually very, very good? Stacy Keibler. She was great. Stacy Keibler gave a great speech. She was a WCW fan from a very young age.
Was she really?
Yeah, apparently. She showed pictures of herself in the crowd holding signs that said, "Thank you, Brett," wearing WCW Nitro t-shirts, which is great. I mean, she was a Nitro girl. You know, she won a contest.
And WCW Nitro t-shirts. So she came in what, 99?
98.
So she was a fan from a year before?
No, I think she was a fan younger, but this is like
she was probably at the powerhouse.
The powerhouse.
The power plant.
The power plant. She was training at the power plant. No, she was a dancer. She was a Nitro girl. She won a contest to be a Nitro girl.
All right.
But she did a great job. Mick did a great job.
Was it out of place? Did it feel out of place with Foley?
No, Foley. I mean, Foley's just so good at just like doing that it felt very natural and very normal, which was
and he looked great in a suit.
He looked great in a suit.
Even though for some reason he'll never have a suit where the neck collar wraps around his neck.
Right.
It's always like all the way out.
And his like pant legs are always like strange too, but it's okay.
I have to start looking at his wardrobe now because that's going to be my body type in a few 20 years. Just like all compact. Like
he kind of just looks like if a Three Stooge needed to wear a tuxedo.
I get it.
Yeah, that was great. Jerry Lawler can't travel. I forgot he had been sick, so he can't travel. So he did a quick little video for Andy Kaufman, and then Jimmy Hart did like a speech, and it was not very good. It was very Jimmy Hart. It was just very Jimmy Hart. And
Jimmy
then
Hart's trying to cut a fucking promo.
Be
a real person.
Yep, that's true. But then Andy Kaufman's brother, sister, and daughter, I think, were there, which was like very sweet.
That's nice.
That was very nice. And they were all like very adamant about how much he loved professional wrestling. And it was great. Andy Kaufman, if you have the chance, this is to everybody who's going to watch this in perpetuity and everyone who's watching it currently. I was mixed on the Tales of the Territory show. I was mixed on it, but they did an episode totally dedicated to Lawler and Kaufman. And it's awesome. It's so fun.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's really the best.
Really, really good
episode they had. Because it like great footage. Honestly, if you get the chance, and I know Jim Cornette is a divisive figure, well, listen to his coverage of that.
Oh, I would love to listen to that. See, that I would love to listen to.
He was a photographer. Those shots are his.
Oh, I would love. Oh. Yeah, I gotta go find that.
Of him with the headlock on Jerry Lawler is his.
Cornette. That's wild.
Yeah,
that's wild.
We have some comments here. Woodsy says the only thing out of place was Pat McAfee versus Miz match, which should have happened earlier on the show.
We'll talk about that.
I have thoughts on it too. We will talk about it. Brooklyn Bleak says the weekend was too packed. How many matches were in WrestleMania? I'm too far removed from it, and I'm just overwhelmed. I'm just whelmed by WWE. What does whelm mean?
Yeah, you
Brooklyn
just
Bleak says a Pat McAfee versus Miz match. Exactly what I meant. Can we talk about that real quick?
Yeah, I thought it was fine.
I think it's perfect placement.
It's too long.
Right before. I mean, it's too long, but it was a reason for everyone. Like honestly, it was a perfect match for the live crowd. It wasn't good TV. I'll admit that. Wasn't good TV. But we needed it. We all needed it because we didn't want to miss a single match. It's impossible to miss it. You needed a bathroom break before that main event. Otherwise, you get people being antsy in their seat. Like I needed to pee.
I just think, and you were there, so you know better than me, but like you give that bathroom break spot, and that's fine. It like brings the crowd down because you want to bring the crowd back up again. But it had already been over 3 hours. Like you were pushing it. So that segment, I think, went too long. You needed it, but I think it was just too long. Like Miz and Pat McAfee fought for like 4 or 5 minutes. That should have been like 2 minutes.
But want to know what the thing is? It would have been fine, but Miz fucked up.
What do you mean he fucked up?
Miz fucked up. If there those watching it, the crowd was like Pat McAfee lost all steam. Pat McAfee is not a seasoned vet. When Snoop Dogg was leaving the ring and he made the match, Pat McAfee was waiting behind to the Miz for him to turn around so he could get his big punches in, and Miz took too long and the crowd died in that period of time. Miz took too long waiting for Snoop Dogg to get out of the ring rather than just turning around.
Right.
And the crowd died. And after that, Pat McAfee kept trying to get the crowd back into it. And he doesn't understand how to do that.
Right.
And so he kept stalling, going to the top rope and doing this and kind of like, come on, like get into it. And that's what killed it. It would have been a much better moment, more succinct. It probably would have been shorter too, if Miz turned around and then he was able to get that quick big hits in to have that moment,
Yeah.
It really was a Miz issue, as well as Pat McAfee being inexperienced.
Sure.
It would have been better.
That's fair.
It could have been better.
That's fair.
But I needed a bathroom break.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad you got it.
Real quick, we got Redley697 says WrestleMania sounds like a mental condition. And then says also Kaufman is one of my role models. Finally, a real comment from this kid. Finally, a real
Is
comment.
That true? Is that true?
It is one of their
that makes sense. I could see that. That's great.
This is this kid.
You know who you're talking to? Yeah, you.
That's Redley697. Do you hear that audio of Redley697 getting hit by a fucking chair, the guitar?
Guitar.
All right.
Yeah, well, I hope Redley697 watches that episode of Tales from the Territory. I think he'd really enjoy it.
I think they'd love it.
Cool. Well, that was the Hall of Fame.
Ring of Honor?
Well, let's get through the stupid shit first, before we get to the main event, which is Ring of Honor. Obviously, I just want to get this out of the way.
Main event's WrestleMania. Fuck.
Well, the main event of this segment before we move on to WrestleMania.
Sure.
Obviously, as a hosts of this show, we are very friendly and very LGBTQIA positive and supportive people. So I don't want anybody to act surprised when you hear that a wrestler from the 80s was trash talking and throwing homophobic slurs at a trans wrestler. No one should be surprised by this. Okay. Great. So Giselle Shaw, who is a trans woman who wrestles for Impact, who I didn't know was trans, but apparently is trans. Congratulate. Great job. You're doing your thing. I don't know. Was at WrestleCon and a prominent wrestler from the 80s, 90s, said a bunch of horrible slurs to her, a bunch of terrible things to her. And there were a bunch of
match?
No. And a bunch of wrestlers who were there watching and did nothing about it. It was Rick Steiner.
Rick Steiner?
Yeah. And he was then ejected from WrestleCon and it's now banned from all future WrestleCons. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What a fucking bummer.
No one should be surprised by this. That's what I'm saying. We all
I guess I'm a little surprised, but honestly, yeah, because I shouldn't be surprised.
the real
But
estate
honestly,
agent in
for
Woodstock,
some reason,
Georgia,
for
is
some reason, I just thought that Scott Steiner's brother would be a little bit more progressive.
no, actually, and what's funny is after that happened, a lot of stories kind of started surfacing about how Rick and Scott Steiner have just always been giant bullies backstage. They've always been big old bullies.
Yeah, of course they have.
Yeah, and so this
That makes
isn't
sense.
surprising. This isn't surprising, but obviously, yeah, and you know, Braun Breaker, we assume that he's better. He's
Braun
young.
Baker, you better make a fucking statement saying your dad's views don't represent your own. He's not
probably
the sins of your father are not your own unless you disown them. You don't have to disown your dad, but you have to disown his comments.
Yeah, well, he shouldn't bark anymore, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
he may.
the bark's done.
There's a rumor that he may debut tonight, and the second night of WrestleMania.
I'm gonna boo
because
I'm gonna boo.
Bobby Lashley is issuing an open challenge.
What's this girl's name that was
Giselle Shaw.
Giselle Shaw. I'm gonna start chanting Giselle Shaw.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure.
Giselle Shaw.
That's good. That's really
Giselle Shaw.
And you know, speaking of Steiner and Braun Breaker, I didn't get to watch all of the NXT show, nor would I take the time to. But I did watch the main event because I do like Carmelo Hayes a lot, and I do like Braun Breaker a lot. And Carmelo Hayes won the NXT title, so congratulations to Carmelo Hayes.
Good job, Carmelo Hayes. I can't wait to see more Tyler Bate versus Carmelo Hayes because they had a banger on NXT a few weeks ago. Did anything happen with Tyler Bate? Was he on the show?
I think he was on the show. He was in a multi-man match for the North American title that Wesley won.
I hate Wesley. I'm just indifferent too. Redley 697 said they squandered Scott Steiner's potential after WCW merger. That I don't think so. I think that they got all the juice out of Scott Steiner.
Yeah, he was pretty broken at that point.
He was broken. Like honestly, it was the worst main event in the history of Raw of the Raw brand.
Yeah. Those matches were awful.
Awful. Woodsy says the NXT North American 5-way was match of the weekend.
Oh yeah, that's the one that had Tyler Bate in it.
Oh, I'll take a look. I love Tyler Bate, but I do not like a 5-way.
Yeah, I know you don't like a 5-way.
Have we been in a 5-way?
No, you just don't like multi-man matches.
I do if they make sense.
If they make sense. But I think
I want a reason. Like
5 people is too many.
No, I think if 5 people somehow come together where there's like a story, imagine the Spirit Squad broke up and they all had new gimmicks and then they're all going for the championship. And then all of a sudden that they're like all same level. They're like, well, we have to figure this out. That's a fun match because there's a reason for a 5-way. Just having a 5-way is just like, oh, so the champion just fucked? So you're just fucking over the champion? Like it really is, because if anyone could pin anyone, your chances of retaining your championship are so small, technically speaking, you know?
Yeah,
why are you just it should only happen if the champion is a piece of shit that keeps cheating these other people out. So they're like, want to what? 5-way, you know?
Yeah.
That would be cool. Woodsy says Tyler Bate was the part of the Chase U for the night. Was part of Chase U for the night? Don't put him in Chase U.
Who was Tyler Bate?
Tyler Bate.
Oh, yeah, they shouldn't do
like
that.
So that happened at WrestleCon?
What did?
Rick Steiner being a shit?
Yeah, that happened at WrestleCon. And, you know, I also, yeah, to, you know, Impact immediately, like, made a statement about being supportive. And Scott D'Amore, the person who runs Impact and has run Impact for a long time, they've been dating for 4 years, Scott D'Amore and Giselle Shaw. So that's, you know, his partner. So he also obviously was there to defend her and make sure that she was okay. So a lot of people came together. A couple of people who, you know, we're not generally fans of also had some nice things to say. So yeah.
Who said who?
Jericho. Jericho had like had a statement in support of Giselle Shaw, and also said that like Rick Steiner has bullied people for years, and that's just, you know, we shouldn't be worshiping. I'm not going to say that word wrong. We shouldn't be worshiping all of these people from the 80s and 90s that everybody loves so fucking much. I mean, it's like when we met Jake Roberts. I mean, it's no different. I mean, Jake didn't say anything like homophobic, but he was, you know, these guys are meatheads. They're morons.
Yeah.
They don't deserve to be celebrated and
I don't know.
praised.
I
None
don't
of
know.
these
After
guys do.
seeing their induction last year in the Hall of Fame and seeing how cute they were, him and Scott were together, I was just like, these two old pieces of shit. They finally found their way, and then
No. They both live in like rural Georgia.
yeah, but they own Shoney's.
Not anymore. Scott Steiner's Shoney's shut down.
No, that was a pilgrim. I guess I wouldn't pilgrimage to there anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Not after this.
Not after this.
We could have made a road trip to Shoney's, and then we would have rode in on a bulldozer, like,
yeah,
fucking,
yeah.
fuck.
All right,
God
yeah.
damn
Let's.
it, Rick. Brooklyn Bleak says, still say wrestlers are always better before and after WB. Wouldn't have Scott Steiner math promo if not for alternative companies. That's true. That's true.
It's a good point.
We have to look at the highlight, and let's just think that's where the Scott Steiner legacy ended.
It did.
Scott Steiner, Rick Steiner ended that day.
Yeah. Let's get into Ring of Honor. Let's talk about it. I thought it was a good show.
Real quick, one last thing. Yeah. And Braun Baker, I like that name better now.
Yeah, me too. Who knew? Who knew?
What were you saying, Roy? I'm sorry.
Well, let's transition over to Ring of Honor. I thought it was a good show. I thought it was a lot of fun. I'm excited for you to share your thoughts that you shared with me, because I agree.
About Dante?
Oh, no. I don't remember what you said about Dante, about Shibata.
Well, let's quickly go over Dante. Just the fact he broke his leg.
Yeah, he did. But there's a rumor that it's not as bad as it looked, but it's still bad. It's just hopefully I'm saying that not as a defense, but more as like, I hope for Dante that it isn't as bad as it looked.
There's two major injuries for AEW roster this week, and that's the biceps tear for Matt Jackson, confirmed.
Yeah.
And Dante Martin broken leg. And it's just every week someone gets injured. Every single week, it seems. There's been maybe a lull of a couple weeks sometimes, but there's always that. But it's just like, we have to, and this doesn't happen in WWE. These type of injuries do, but because
I'm saying, why would it? Because they don't wrestle that style.
No,
it's the style that's causing the injuries.
Oh, they do wrestle that style. They just wrestle smart. Like NXT is, for most parts, the main event of NXT is that style. It's just done safer.
No, I'm saying like
Carmella Hayes would fit into AEW,
sure,
any Ring of Honor match, and like so, like it's just like that style is in WWE. They have that style. It's just about how you do that style, and when you do that style. Like, you don't do that style every single night. You don't have hardcore matches where you do terrible things to your body every single night and expect to be on TV the next day.
That's the style. Like, the WWE doesn't wrestle that style.
That's not true. They do wrestle that style. They've had matches with that style.
I'm talking about, there's no one doing Canadian destroyers through 4 tables in WWE. There's no one using barbed wire.
But that's not a style as much as bad habit. Like, just doing, if you do the like a move that doesn't make sense into a bunch of things that don't make sense, that's not a style as much as it is just it's kind of like, you can't call, like, if someone has a great in baseball, they have a batting stance, right?
Don't try.
They have a batting stance.
Do not try
right?
to bring baseball.
They have a batting stance, right? They have a batting stance, and that's
they
their
have
style.
Batting stances.
That's
their style. That's
right?
not a style.
But that's a style. Like, some people have different. But fine, that's their stance. That's the thing that they do, and that's recognizable. Some people have similar stances. Some people have different ones. Same with pitching styles and stances, all that stuff. But if they are throwing, they're putting gasoline on it, and they throw it, that's not a different style. It's just them fucking nuking the game. They're just putting these fucking cheat codes in. They're trying to, like, force pops. It's forcing pops.
There's a high intensity, balls to the wall, fast paced style that exists primarily in AEW. Maybe it happens occasionally in WWE, but it's not the style that the WWE works.
You're correct. The WWE has a distinct style. They do work their style with a multiple different type of styles. Which is it's true.
Okay, let's keep going. Let's just keep going, because you're just gonna keep saying styles over and over and over again.
AJ Styles, Styles Clash.
Yeah, let's keep going here.
All right. But I just want him to be safer. Oh yeah, when's the last time Ricochet got injured? That's a good point, Woodsy. Roy. Because that's the same style.
It's not
Ricochet. Ricochet is what Dante could be if he safened up a bit. where he's doing safe enough things. It's a similar style. Roy, can we agree that it's a similar style? It's balls to the wall.
It's what Ricochet used to wrestle like 10 years ago when he was Dante's age.
Yeah, but the thing is, if he was with WWE Developmental earlier, he would have wrestled this style earlier. It's just like it's more longevity. It's safer for the wrestlers. Right.
I'm agreeing with you. Here's the thing. I've been agreeing with you this entire time. Our disagreement isn't around the WWE style being safer. Our disagreement is that there isn't. You're saying this argument started as you saying that AEW and WWE wrestled the same style, and that one does it safer than the other. That's not real. That's not a real thing.
Why are you yelling at me? Oh, son of a bitch!
There's
Brooklyn
two
Bleak says,
different styles.
Brooklyn Bleak says, wow, I hope so. That Dante Martin, his injury was rough, but the cameraman was committed on showing that injury. Yes. Brooklyn Bleak says, but Jeff Hardy is in physical shambles because of his matches at WWE.
Also true.
Yeah, that style's been around forever.
There's a whole generation of wrestlers that wrestled in WWE whose bodies are destroyed, and that's fine.
Yeah. I guess that's wrestling. That style. That's style.
Wrestling.
That's the style.
There's also a whole generation of wrestlers who exclusively wrestled in WWE, ECW, and WCW that are dead now because of all of the CTE they suffered from unprotected chair shots as well.
They didn't die from CTE. They died from drug overdose, Roy. Don't you forget it.
Right. Or suicide because their brains were so damaged.
You're damn right. Grow up.
It's just wrestling. It's what we sign up for.
That's what it is. It's not wrestling. It's Britney, bitch. But Ring of Honor and what you said. I brought something up yesterday about Ring of Honor that you wanted to mention.
Yeah, but let's just go through the card. The opener was Commander versus El Hijo del Vikingo, which was fun.
It's fine. Honestly, it's just like you had a star-making moment the past week with Kenny Omega, and it's wandered.
That's not true, but that's okay. You can.
No, it was a star-making moment.
It was definitely a star-making moment.
And the end of the match ruined that star-making moment because it really did. It really did. It should have been.
But that's okay.
It did. But then they just quickly go to a match that like people, it could have been a better match. It could have been a better match for both of them. Like, it should have been Commander. It should have bless Commander. I think Commander's really good. I think they're both really good. Roy, I think they're both really good.
I'm not saying that.
It was bad booking.
I shouldn't drink coffee before this. I think that's the thing.
I like it. I like to get your blood pressure riled up. You want to fucking fight,
Vikingo doesn't care about America. Vikingo is the AAA heavyweight champion.
Gimmick. I don't care about America.
And his livelihood in Mexico's biggest promotion.
Yeah. And I'm saying
all of this is a spotlight for Vikingo and for AAA. And if you put Vikingo in the ring with someone like Kenny Omega on national television, regardless of the outcome, as long as he gets to do all his shit, it's a win. It's a star-making performance for a guy who makes his living in another country, who's their heavyweight champion.
I'm saying it would have been better booking all around if Kenny did, if they went to a no DQ or not no DQ, but a double count out or no contest with that move over the road. The reason being because it would help Kenny with his storyline moving forward, that his head was not in the game, and then they could still do all these things with Don Callis, and because Blackpool Comic Club were going to come out no matter what. So they could have started all that same stuff over, and it would have built for a match, for a rematch between those two, rather than just have him win cleanly. So there's no real reason to have he didn't win cleanly. He
did win cleanly, but let's say I'm the booker of AEW.
I'm talking about the booker of AEW and AAA. They both benefit from having it go no contest. They just both benefit. They allow another match to happen in AAA for another for three matches. They could have had a third one at Forbidden Door. They could have had their rubber match at Forbidden Door, which would have been great.
You can't
because they have the one there. They have one.
I'm not going to put Kenny Omega against Vikingo at Forbidden Door when I can put Kenny Omega against.
I'm just saying there could be another. They basically they nuked this one, gave a clean finish onto it, and now it's just kind of like okay. I've seen his stuff, and they give us no reason to want to.
That's fine. I understand what you're saying. I get it. I don't agree with it because at the end of the day, if I'm Tony Khan and I'm trying to reestablish Kenny Omega as a singles wrestler, I don't want Kenny to. I don't want Kenny to like. Even a no contest doesn't help Kenny Omega. And honestly, if I'm Tony Khan and I'm the booker of AEW, I don't give a shit about AAA. I don't care. I need to protect my guy, and my guy is one of my top stars. I'm not going to have him do a no contest to someone who's never been on television before. I'm not going to do that. And in AAA, at the end of the day, they're like, cool, well, let me see here. He's never been on television before. He's wrestling.
You just said that wins don't matter. You said it didn't matter what the finish of the match was because he got to do his shit. So if it doesn't matter,
it doesn't.
Why don't they do the?
It doesn't matter for AAA. It doesn't matter for AAA. It matters for AEW.
The issue is it doesn't because of the way that they book. It doesn't matter for anybody. Like the thing is, like it really doesn't matter how these matches end because as long as you get your things in, it doesn't matter. So might as well have it be good booking sense.
That's really not true. It does matter. It doesn't matter.
You just said before scenarios, it doesn't.
It's no, you're misconstruing, but you're screwing my words up. Is what you're doing.
Why are you yelling at? Why are you yelling at?
Well, hold on, everyone.
Shush! Hush, please.
Thank you. Brooklyn
That's from Encino Man.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was sheesh. We have a lot of comments here. Wow. Brooklyn Bleaks. No, we already said that. Woodsy says Commander Aziz is in Ring of Honor. Is Commander Aziz in Ring
Commander.
Of Honor? Oh, Commander. Brooklyn Bleak says Spectacle called it low, but that Spectacle called it low, but that's Lucha Libre in a nutshell. I don't know how people always take shots at the Young Bucks, but rave about Lucha like Vikingo versus Commander. I like it, but no, you're right. It
was fine.
Lucha style. No, it's fine. It's exactly what it could have been. It was fine. It could have been great, but sometimes we don't need great. You know, we could just do fine.
What was the second match on the show?
I'm sorry. Now you're all pissed, and I was trying to tease, and I've gone too far. Ring of Honor. Let me look it up. I'll look it up right now. Ring of Honor Super Card of Honor card results. This is how I type.
Yeah, I heard. I believe that completely.
Okay. And then we got Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Daniel Garcia.
That wasn't the second match. We can talk about that. It was good. Tanahashi was wrestling without his teeth. He lost.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking nuts. It's gross.
But it was it was a good match. Tanahashi won, which I guess you kind of need to do, but
yeah,
I'm a big Daniel Garcia guy, and I wish Garcia had gone over.
Honestly, he needs to detach himself from the JS. It's not doing it any favors. And like we take him less seriously, and he could be taken seriously, and he's just being swallowed up. But it was a good match.
It was a good match. Yeah.
Lucha Brothers defeated the Kingdom, Aussie Open, Top Flight, Roosh, and Dralistico.
In the ladder match. I think the Lucha Brothers, that's a good win. That's a good win for them.
I think it's smart to put it on them. But I do feel that that match was disappointing.
It's just too much. It was just too much. Too many teams. 3 teams. That's enough. That's enough.
The max.
Is a max. Yeah, 100%. We don't need 5 teams.
The Embassy defeated AR Fox, Blake Christian, and Metalik.
Yes.
My brain blanked out in this one.
It was fine. It was fine. You know, that's like their 6-man matches for the most part are fine, mostly forgettable. I like that the Embassy exists because they're just very different from the rest of the card. So at least give me something different. Yeah. But I also am pretty bored by them as well. So it's okay.
And here's the fucking Shibata versus Wheeler Yuta. And you saw it now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking awesome. So glad Shibata defeated Wheeler Yuta in this match. Great match. Honestly, it just showed. I told you it was like a dad beating up his kid.
yeah.
It was just like he just took him to school. I loved it.
Yeah, he did.
He's a monster.
He's great. He's really great. You know, he came up at the same time in Japan as Nakamura and Tanahashi. The three of them came up together. And, you know, it's a good story too. And I don't mean like a wrestling story. It's just like a good story of a guy who almost fucking died headbutting someone. And all these years later, he's made his way back. He must be medically cleared. Like he must be okay. And so now he's the champ, which is great, which is really great. Yeah.
Now, dream match idea: Shibata for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship versus Bryan Danielson.
That's the plan. That's actually,
is that
I don't know
really
if it's
the
for
plan?
the pure title, but Shibata is like, he is not shy about the fact that his goal is to wrestle Bryan Danielson. That's what he wants to do.
It should be for the pure title. That is like a match. Like that is, I'm getting goosebumps. I'm literally feeling goosebumps.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten goosebumps talking about wrestling? I have.
I have.
Then Samoa Joe versus Mark Briscoe. Good match.
It was a good match. I think people were shocked. The audience was shocked when Mark didn't win, but I think they're telling a story here. And I know that like his family was there, and like I trust Tony Khan, the Ring of Honor booker. I don't trust Tony Khan, the AEW booker, but Tony Khan not needing to worry about ratings and, you know, TV, and he can just do whatever he wants. I trust that he's going to treat Mark Briscoe the right way, and that Mark will win, but in a bigger way. Probably, maybe even at the end of the year. Maybe this is a year-long feud for them.
But I just feel like strike while the iron's hot.
I know.
What are you waiting for? You to be in fucking Delaware? You're not going to happen.
I mean, or New York City, where when they all won their biggest titles, were in New York City. So maybe that's
like he's never going to be hotter than he is right now. Let's keep building on that. Having this kind of loss, it does take a hit to the momentum.
It takes a hit to the momentum, but
which doesn't need to happen.
Mark, even without the circumstances surrounding him, Mark will forever be over because he's that good and that, you know, captivating.
Yeah, but like, just imagine like he goes on this streak of winning because he has his brother out by his side. You know, like he's just like goes on this tear, and like I would like that's the story I want. I don't want to see, honestly. Joe doesn't need this storyline. He didn't need this win. He didn't like. I feel like it should just gone to Mark Briscoe. I'm pretty disappointed the more I think about it, actually.
Sure.
That's unfortunate. Sure. Brooklyn Bleak asks, think Brian Cage is going to WWE?
You know, for his sake, I hope so. He's old. You know, he's never really had a run. I think he was signed by them briefly many years ago, but before he was even like jacked, when he was like still really skinny. And if anybody can make him interesting, it's the WWE. Because he's very uninteresting naturally. Yeah,
he doesn't. But I think honestly, I don't think they want him.
No, I don't think they want him either. Honestly, I don't know what they would do with him. Honestly, like I can't see him in NXT. Really, I mean, what's he going to do in NXT?
Live there,
right? I mean, his stupid mohawk. Like I don't know.
Yeah, Brooklyn Bleak says a dad beating up his kid. Perfect. That's weird, Brooklyn Bleak, that you said that. That sounds weird in context. Shibata fan for life. I'm a sucker for stiff strikes. Ooh, crap. I was hoping for Shibata Danielson too. I think anyone who's seen Shibata this past
it's going to happen.
Him versus Danielson would be nuts, but they'd have to be safer on their heads.
Yeah.
Take a second, guys. I know you want to beat the shit out of each other, but let's just.
Yeah, that's a possible Forbidden Door matchup as well.
Yeah. Oh my God. And then we had Claudio versus Athena versus
which I thought was good. Yuka Sakazaki is awesome.
Yeah,
Yuka Sakazaki is everything that I don't want. That I think it's everything that we all want Riho to be. Like she's very small, but her offense is.
She knows how to work. She's like the difference is someone who's a wrestler that knows how to work as a wrestler, someone.
All right. I shouldn't have even brought it up. But Athena is also on fire right now too.
I do like Athena. I do think something needs to tweak with Athena. I don't know what it is yet. I don't think she's there yet, but I like Athena. She works hard. Brooklyn Bleak says Samoa Joe not letting go of his streak against Mark. The shot of Briscoe's kids consoling each other was tough after this loss.
Yeah.
Come on,
it was really tough. It was. I mean, I would
do that.
Yeah, it's strange. There's got to be a bigger.
It feels worse the more I think about it.
Yeah.
And then we had Claudio versus Eddie Kingston for the title.
How'd you feel about this?
I loved it.
Yeah. Do you feel like this is the first of many matches between the two of them?
Yes,
this is a one and done.
I hope so. because I think that would be great to see Eddie Kingston's constant climb. But I think he needs a break. I think Eddie Kingston should like start back from the bottom. He's like, I have to train. I want him to have this should be Rocky 3. Like he loses to Claudio, and he goes on a few months of just like facing the best of the best in Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
And then he gets back to Claudio. He's just like, I'm ready this time. I'm ready for you. But one thing I'll say about Claudio, man, did he miss the boat by not being with Triple H, being under Triple H? Because the thing is, I see like this Claudio is Gunther.
Yeah.
Imagine if Gunther wasn't there, it was just Claudio in the Imperium. It would be, it's perfect for him. So like taking it seriously, coming out to his like traditional like classical music, dun 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 dun. Like that's so good, and he comes out serious, and he's a great heel. I was stoked about this match. I loved it.
Yeah,
loved it.
I mean these are two of my favorites. So I was great.
Look at us come together on something.
Thank God. Yeah, it was great. It was great. All right. Well, let's talk about the main event then. Let's talk about WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Jazz, you can go to the WrestleMania slide.
And I think there's no anger here.
No, I think we might differ like slightly, but like I was saying to you last night, this is exactly how it should be. Where there's a bunch of other fun things that are happening throughout the weekend, whether it's Bloodsport, the Impact Show, Ring of Honor, the Hall of Fame, like all of these fun things, Effie's Big Gay Brunch, like all of these like kooky fun, like the DDT shows were a lot of fun too. If you get a chance, Fred, you should watch those DDT shows.
The thing is, like, I saw the the 3-way with the doll.
Sure, but you should watch.
And I'm not in the Cornette camp on that. Like, I think it's fun. Let's have fun.
Well, especially like
as long as it's not the entire show.
Right.
As long as it's not if no one else is doing a comedy bit that night, that's fine. That's a great break match.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that's fair. Yeah, there's also a tag team that are nudists, and you should watch that because it's wild. It's wild. It's wild. It's a good time. They're good wrestlers. They just happen to be trying to get naked the whole match. It's great. It's great. Anyway. All of that stuff is fun and different and unique, but then the main event should be WrestleMania. And and what I mean by that is that, yes, like it is, but it should live up to its billing. And it has. It did this year. This is probably the best WrestleMania that I've ever watched live. And maybe it's not we can debate another day what the best WrestleMania ever is, but this is probably the best WrestleMania that I ever watched live as it was happening.
Last year, night 1.
I think this was better than that. I do. From like a full card wrestling perspective.
Sure. We'll talk.
I mean, Stone Cold returning was like Cody. maybe the best moment in the history of WrestleMania. Cody was also great, but like
that was all night 1.
And also so was Becky and
Ronda?
No. Becky and
Delilah Doom?
The current women's champion.
Bianca Belair?
Yeah, Bianca Belair, which was also excellent. It was great. Don't get me wrong. It was great. But this just like flowed in such a way. So we opened up. We didn't even talk about this match last night because it was largely forgettable, but a lot of fun. Was John Cena, Austin Theory. This from like a wrestling, like I'm sure in the arena, it was an amazing experience because it felt like this had the most heat. But as a wrestling match, watching it on television, it was a very paint by numbers John Cena match, which is to be expected.
Yeah, it needed to be. And boy, that music, just John Cena's music.
Yeah,
it's over.
Yeah,
it's over. Goosebump moment. The kids thing. The Make a Wish kids there, which was fun. And one with the thing is like it did feel like a paint by numbers match even there.
Yeah.
It just like, we're seeing the things, but the finish is what it needed to be.
When you say that, do you mean just Austin Theory winning or Austin
going
Theory
over clean
cheating to win?
I thought
he hit a low blow.
Oh yeah, he did
when the ref was down.
well,
Austin Theory winning did need to happen, but it probably could have been a little more definitive. Probably could have been cleaner. But Austin Theory this match is what Austin Theory is, which is just like, whatever. He's fine. He's a WWE guy. He's like a boring WWE guy. He's Chris Masters to me.
He's missing something. He just needs he's got all the pieces.
Yeah.
And he could be a great wrestler. He's just got no personality.
Yeah.
And he's forcing it.
Yeah. Yeah. The second match was the 4-way tag team match, which was a lot of fun. It was only like 7 or 8 minutes. It was short. They packed a lot into it. I don't love the like Tower of Doom spots. I don't love that, but Chad Gable. And it was Ricochet. Ricochet looked really good too in this match.
And that tower spot, I don't mind when it's done fast.
Well, what I liked about it too is that normally it's like everyone's using the turnbuckle to steady themselves, but they were freestanding tower there, which I really liked also. Like, give me that. If you're going to do that spot, take it to another level. We're going to see the same spot tonight in the women's match, but they're going to be using the turnbuckle, which is fine.
But I just don't want it to take forever to set up.
Yeah.
Right. You know, like just get there, do
That's
it.
That's a pet peeve of yours in general.
Yeah, just let's not take a lot of time because like it just looks bad. Like if you're watching with friends that don't watch wrestling, like, wait, what are they doing? Are they all just working together right now?
Yeah, that's what wrestling is. That's what I would say though. It sounds like, are they working together? I'd be like, yeah, they always work together.
They shouldn't look like they're working together. They should never look like they're working together.
Sure.
The idea of a work is that they don't know they're working. Yeah, like it's a contradictory term.
That's a fair point.
Nobody in wrestling, nobody non-wrestling fan, nobody watching the show should be like, are they working together? That means they're doing it bad.
That means they're doing it bad.
They do it bad. We got some comments here real quick. Brooklyn Bleak says, well, good news. Rio versus Hater this Wednesday.
Yeah, it's going to be a good match.
Woodsy says, I'm so excited for the old Hell in a Cell to be back. What do you mean the old Hell in a Cell?
I'm excited for a Hell in a Cell match that's not on a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Like a Hell in a Cell match that's earned. And this is earned in a way.
No, in a way. Brooklyn Bleak says the ending of this week's Ring of Honor has me hyped for this match because of Kingston's promo. It didn't disappoint, but current Ring of Honor champ Claudio versus WWE Claudio yet again proves the before and after WWE idea. What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
He says that the best versions of wrestlers are the before and after the WWE. Like the WWE teaches you how to be great, and then you go somewhere else and you're great.
Yeah. But no, honestly, Claudio was great throughout WWE.
Yeah, he was. He was.
Brooklyn Bleak, I do want to see Bianca Belair versus Asuka match. I want to see that.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
Yeah,
I'm a big Asuka fan.
I'm a big Asuka fan too. Asuka's very over.
And you know, when they show the graphics for night 2, the match that got the biggest pop?
Asuka?
Finn Balor versus Edge.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a Hell in a Cell match. People are going to be excited
but it got
a
huge pop. Huge
pop. It's going to be fun.
And Woodsy says, it isn't the red cell. Thank God.
Oh, yeah. That's good. That is good.
Oh, that is great news, Woodsy. Thank you so much for giving that information. All right, moving on.
Then we got Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul, which was good. It was a good match.
It was honestly a great. It was very good. I'm glad that it happened this way. I just don't know the purpose of Logan Paul.
Well, I think this is his last match.
Ever?
I think he said his contract is up. So maybe he'll come back. I'm sure he will.
I just don't know what to do with Logan Paul. But it happened to what happened, and a great spot with the table. And,
I loved that spot. I thought it was an excellent spot. Seth Rollins needed to win. I'm glad he won.
Logan Paul's a fucking pro.
Logan Paul needed to get
Assface is a pro.
Immediately. So they did the stupid like zip line thing where he's got the microphone, which was brutal. Which was great because it got him great heat. It was a good match. It was a good match. Seth Rollins got a big win there. Seth Rollins deserved that win. Seth Rollins deserves to do something legitimate moving forward, rather than losing every 3 months.
Got to do something about that voice, though. That gimmick.
I mean, that's also this whole freaking thing's got to go. In my opinion, I hate it. I hate Seth freaking Rollins. I hate that so much.
Everything about him besides his wrestling is unwatchable. It's like the worst things of AEW doing whatever the fuck you want, but only for character. Like it's like literally what AEW. My worst criticism of AEW in their matches is what Seth Rollins does. Everything but his matches. like I'm gonna do all the things all at once.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
Much.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Pretty insufferable, but good match, great wrestler.
Great moments.
Yeah, great moments. What was the next match after that?
Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus versus
yeah.
Damage Control.
I felt like this was okay. I felt like there was a little bit of a lull. I think, it's amazing to think about, like, imagine in 2001 if there was a match like this at WrestleMania with 3 current wrestlers against 1 current wrestler and 2 wrestlers who had retired 17 years prior.
Yeah, this is not the way to put older folks in the matches. Like, the thing is, with this type of match, it needs to be a 2-on-2 and only 1 veteran, so the 3 can make up. Right now, you have 3 making up for 4 making up for 2, and that is just too confusing and hard work because honestly, they just don't have the gas in the tank.
Well, right. Yeah. Lita especially was moving very slow.
She looked like she was about to die.
Yeah.
When she went up for that moonsault, I was just like, Lita's going to kill herself.
Be careful.
But she did a good job. That was a good moonsault.
She did. Yeah.
And Trish looked great.
Trish did look great. Yeah.
She looked great. She moved pretty okay.
Yeah.
Couldn't do a lot, but she didn't need to. Honestly, it should have just been Becky Lynch and Trish with Lita in the corner versus Dakota Kai and Io Sky with Bayley in the corner.
I'm going to say something that's controversial to you. But if this was a 6-person match, the way it was, should have been a street fight. Give me all the gimmicks.
Honestly, this is a match to have the. Well, I don't know. It's not. It's not because, bless their heart, Trish and Lita do not know how to work a street fight.
They had street fights.
Yeah, 20 years ago. They did not have.
It's significantly safer now than it was then.
Everything's
safe now.
I'm not talking about safe. I'm just talking about, like, I could just see weak ass chair shots from Lita.
Yeah,
who
definitely
can't lift up the fucking chair because she's winded as fuck. And then Io Sky selling it like
yeah,
like, just too. I don't want.
Then don't put him in the ring.
Don't put him in the ring.
Don't put him in the ring.
Don't put him in the ring. Wasn't WWE talking about bringing in Logan's brother for Paul Brothers tag team? Brooklyn Bleak asked. Yeah, but then they saw one of his fucking punches and it sucked dick. Brooklyn Bleak says, "Well, that was the same thing Seth Rollins dealt with while he was Tyler Black in Ring of Honor, up until he got the title before he left for WWE. People just love to not like him. It's because of him as a person. It's very easy to dislike him because his person is so grating." I'm sure he's a nice guy. Well, no, I don't know.
No, actually, I don't think he's a very nice guy. Maybe he's
sounds like
nicer now.
Shit. Honestly, he's a fucking 100% Young Bucks stan. He's a Young Bucks stan, and I have no patience for it.
That's whatever. All right, we can keep going.
CM Punk's a cancer. My friends told me so.
We're talking about the WWE. Let's keep talking about the WWE. Please.
Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio.
Great entrances.
Honestly, there's 2 moments of the night for me, and I honestly think this was one of them. This match was great. The crowd was hot.
Yeah,
Dominic Mysterio, it had the most heat of anyone in the night.
I love it.
People were booing the shit out of him coming out with Rey's mask, and the fact that they held off on putting the mask on his head for so long, was perfect. Honestly, in another company, first week of the feud, they put the mask on. But that kind of restraint means so much. No, Roy, is that fair?
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that.
So much. And the thing is, like, I hope they keep that. But, like, and then Rey Mysterio's entrance, Roy.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio's entrance.
It's a lot of fun.
Snoop Dogg first.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg music first.
I like the 3. Yeah, the 3 songs bleeding into each other was excellent.
It was perfect. The crowd ate up everything, and I just had a great, like, that was one of the, like, the best moment. Like, I can't say enough great things.
So glad. I'm so glad that live it was great. Yeah, and I thought the match was very good. I love Dominic Mysterio throwing a drink in his sister's face. I think that's so funny.
All of it, so much fucking and they all work together. The family sold everything perfectly.
Yeah.
And then the celebration at the end with the family.
Yeah, really sweet.
A portion of me is just like, this shit should fucking headline.
Yeah. And then we got to the last 2 matches, which were even better.
That fucking Pat McAfee shit. Amazing stuff.
That was the
honestly, that should close night 3. They should make a night 3 for that.
You should go back and watch the show on TV because Michael Cole about like fucking cries over the fact that Pat McAfee's there. He's so happy and excited.
I saw they showed him real quick on the Titantron. He's so happy.
Yeah, piece of shit.
But a great match. What are your thoughts, Roy?
On what? Pat McAfee versus Miz.
Ray and Dom.
Oh yeah, I thought it was fantastic. I thought Ray did an excellent job. There's a buckle spot where Ray almost broke his neck, which was insane.
The alley-oop.
Yeah.
That was Big Show's finisher in 2001.
Right. Yes.
Was that finisher where he lifts him up on his for a powerbomb and then falls backward, which I love.
Yeah.
No one does it. I love that. But that kind of whip, it was so good. But great match. And then
great
we get to the controversial.
Also, how do you feel about Bad Bunny? Bad Bunny's involvement in this? You think he's going to wrestle with Rey Mysterio in Puerto Rico next month?
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that's a fine thing to do. Just because it was the crowd loved it. The crowd ate it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, did they love it? And yeah, it was great. It was great.
It's great.
It was great.
Yeah,
I couldn't have done without the Cinnamon Toast Crunch Lucha guy.
Dude, that's the other thing too that took me out of that match. The sponsors this year were out of control. Like the whole match, this heated blood feud between father and son is highlighted by this bright fluorescent pink surrounding the ring the whole time.
Oh my God.
And they're like crying, and there's so much emotion in this match. And the turnbuckles are just lit up bright pink, advertising Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
The churro, there's a new churro.
Yeah. Cinemoji.
And I will say though that right before the main event, when they showed the video package, and we're all tears, everyone's in tears, and they're like TurboTax.
Yeah, and then after the match, literally after the match is over, they're celebrating in the ring with their titles. The camera, they cut to a full screen graphic of TurboTax, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? And then it separates, and it's the replays, and I'm just,
they did it for us too.
What is happening?
It was nuts.
What is this?
But yeah, it was just hysterical.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was great. Yeah, Charlotte versus Rhea was next.
Oh my God, match of the night.
Okay.
It was just the best match. Like, there's things that have more feeling to it. Like, there's better story.
The novelty of the WWE doing a great tag team match made it the match of the night for me, because the WWE, and I will die on this hill. Someone prove me wrong. There has never been a better WWE tag team match in the history of the company that didn't involve a ladder than this match tonight. And that is such a novelty that makes it, this may not even have been Charlotte's best match of her career. It's a top 2 or 3, but this may not have even been Charlotte's best match of her career. It's Rhea's best match by far. Rhea crushed this match. It was amazing.
I would have liked to see a double turn.
I think you may have seen a double turn.
I don't know. They were wrestling like they did not give, like they were wrestling
was
face
Charlotte
the entire time.
A babyface going into this match? I mean, Rhea
ish, but the people were booing her.
Both of them are like babyface-ish heels to begin with. They're tweeners. Both.
I just wish they kind of picked a side, because there were moments especially the beginning where it lagged a little bit.
Yeah.
Then they got us back on. They got us back on big time, but they lagged because they were like, Charlotte was working face and Rhea was working heel, and the crowd is just like, that heel shit does not work for a face, and vice versa.
Well, I also think
in the ring,
I hate to say this because you're gonna give me shit, but the WWE main event style includes some lagging in the beginning. There's always there's some lagging in the tag match too in the beginning. There's a little bit of lagging there too.
I thought it was doing great when it was like that. That's how you build.
Yeah,
you have to have a lag. It's not
you don't have to have a lag. You can just build. You can build without a lag.
The lag in the Rhea Ripley match versus Charlotte, because Rhea didn't work face and Charlotte didn't work heel. The tag match was just them trying to build. That's not lag.
Okay.
That's not lag, dog.
Okay.
But Ripley won, and it was a huge pop. Huge pop.
Yeah, huge pop. Everybody wanted her to win. Clearly.
Everyone was so stoked. Then we get the main event, Pat McAfee versus The Miz.
This whole segment went on too long. Congratulations to the WWE for yet again creating a very inflated attendance number. As if 65 to 70,000 people isn't impressive. You needed to get it up over 80,000. Hey, you know what?
Was that not true?
75,000 is still pretty impressive.
It's probably not, because I think the place only holds 70,000. I'm drunk enough.
Interesting.
But then we had the main event, Roy.
Yeah, and this was exactly what it needed to be.
Perfect match. Great stuff. Great moment and Sami Zayn is a master.
The
crowd was pretty wiped.
Yeah.
The crowd was pretty wiped, and it was hard getting into the match because of how drained the crowd was. But there's this moment where Sami Zayn is going to the top rope, and then he just slowly stands. He slowly stands, and because of him slowly standing, everyone reacted to it. It was amazing, that kind of crowd control, just kind of standing, looking around as he's standing. It just got everyone in that moment, and like everything kept building. They did such a good job, and it was a great moment.
Yeah, it was. And you know, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn both had the PWG logo on their tights as a shout out to where they started their careers, in California. Really, in America, that's where they started their careers.
Yeah.
Was in PWG. And you always got to love when, you know, people don't forget where they came from, and they complete their stories. Cody Rhodes, they complete their stories. It was a great night. And I think night 2, I've said this the last 2 years, but night 2 shows potentially even more promise than night 1. So we'll see. I felt like night 1 has been the better night the last 2 years for sure. But hey, night 2, let's see what happens.
Let's go.
Brock Lesnar versus Omos. I'm ready.
I'm honestly excited for it. I want to see them.
I like a spectacle. Give me a spectacle.
I'm going to dress warmer tonight.
Yes, I heard it got cold in there.
Got chilly.
Yeah, because like the roof isn't real.
No, it's a fake roof.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. It's a beautiful stadium. Beautiful stadium.
I hear it's stunning.
It's so easy to get in.
Great. Love it.
And even though they spent a few $1 billion over budget and it tore apart a neighborhood,
is all of that true?
Yeah. They just tore apart because it's in the middle of a neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of Englewood. The thing is, like, you know, like the Meadowlands is out in the swamps.
Right.
You know,
right.
there's nothing
for
to
a
walk
reason.
to.
Yeah.
This is next to people's houses.
Oh my God.
These poor people. I parked in the Vons.
What is that?
Vons is like their shitty HEB.
Oh, okay, cool.
Parked there and walked over 15 minutes.
Easy peasy.
I just paid $70 on parking.
Yeah. Wow. Incredible. Well, that's the show. That's it.
That's the show. We're all very excited for tonight. Roy, you're excited for the main event, Cody versus.
I'm excited for the main event. The Hell in a Cell match should be fun. The women's title match is going to be fun. I'm curious to see what Bobby Lashley does. The triple threat, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, Gunther. But they're all going to be great. It's going to be great.
Just take a big gasp of air. Let's all pray for Roy. Let's all pray for Roy because Roy needs it. Roy needs these prayers. Shush. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been Loser Leaves Wrestling. Ding, 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 ding. The premier wrestling thing.
Wrong.
No, don't say that. Thank you all so much for joining. Brock Lesnar F5ing Omos is a WrestleMania moment if they do it. But thank you all. Thank you all so much. We will be back next week. Have a great one. Bye.
Bye.
Ole. 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 Ole.